In this video, you will learn about extracting patterns from text using regex. And in the last video, you already saw an example of when regex is useful. And now you will learn a little bit more about situations where you can use regex. Let's get started. So, regular expression, which is normally shortened as regex, is a sequence of characters that defines a search pattern. So this pattern can be used by a string searching algorithm. For example, the string searching algorithm that we used in the last video to find and replace operations on strings. So in the last video, in the regex example that you saw, we found the number in a string. And other examples of how to use regex and when to use regex is, for example, if you want to extract currency and amount from strings, or if you want to extract email addresses or URLs. And you can also extract dates and addresses or phone numbers, and also emojis in strings. So what all these things have in common is that they have some kind of pattern or structure that tells the reader or the string searching algorithm what kind of text it is. So, for example, the email address has the symbol that tells us that it's an email, and a phone number has also a very specific kind of pattern or structure. And we can use regular expressions to exploit this pattern. One thing that is important to note is that we will only scratch the surface of regular expressions. So regular expressions has its completely own language that you need to understand before you can work with regular expressions. And it takes time to understand this intuition that is built. So the only way to become better is by using it in practice. And if you work with text or web scraping in your projects, then I promise you will come to use regular expressions at some point. So here you will get an introduction to it, so you can work with it yourself afterwards. Here I have just listed a few resources that you can use to become better at regular expressions. So the first one is an interactive regular expressions tester, where you can actually test the regular expressions that you write. And then you can see how it finds the patterns in a text that has been provided for you. So you can just try to go to this website. Another one is an interactive tutorial that goes through the basics of regular expressions. So it's a good complement to what you learn here. And the third one is the lookup of all the special characters. So if you wonder why the regular expressions looks like it does, or if you need to look up the the meaning of some characters, you can go to this website. So remember these three resources while working with regular expressions. Here I've just listed some of the most basic syntax to build your own expressions. So I have also listed, you can see more tutorial as I just told you about, and also the guide that I've also just told you about. So I've listed a lot of things here, and you can actually, you can't see all of them. Some of it has been split here. But I can just go through maybe the first 5 list of the list here. So you have already seen the plus sign, and in regular expressions, it means 1 or more times. So an example is A plus, which will match A and AA and AAA. So this sign, the star, means 0 or more times. So for example, the regular expressions B, A star will match B, and it will also match BA and BAA. So the 3 in these 2 brackets here matches exactly 3 times. So B, the regular expressions BA, and then the 3 here will match BAAA exactly, and nothing else. And the question mark means once or none. So it's called a lazy sign, because it's only matched once. And sometimes you need to escape characters in regular expressions. For example, if you need to find a character that already has a special meaning in regular expressions, you can escape those with this backslash. So for example, if you need to find a plus in a string, then you cannot just write plus, you need to write backslash plus. Otherwise, the plus means something else in regular expressions, as I just told you about up here. Now let's get to some examples of how to use regular expressions. Yes, let's do that. So to use regular expressions, we need some text to practice on. And we will use a piece of one of the articles we downloaded in session 7 from dr.dk. I have just loaded it here. So you can see the text here, or at least some of the text. And we will use this to practice our regular expression. So first, suppose we want to find the first digit in a text. For that, we can use the search function. So the search function searches through the whole text, and then it finds the first match, and it returns that match. And remember that the \d finds any digit in the text, so we need to use that. And here's the code. So we import the regex module in Python, and then we use the search function to search for the first digit in the string text. And remember that we write our regular expression inside these 2 citation marks, and we need to to make the string, our regular expression string, into a raw string. So everything we write in here is interpreted as it is. And for example, a \n is not interpreted as a new line. So the regular expression in here is we start with the \d to match any digit in text, and then we write our plus to tell the search function that we want to match all the digits that are in text that comes just after each other. And we store the result in the first digit object, and to return the matched string that we find with this regular expression, we use the group function, and the result is 1. So we see that the first digit in text is 1, and we can go back to the text to be sure of that. So the first digit in text is the 1 we see. All right. So another example is that we could try to find all digits in the text. And for that, we can use the find all function in the regular expression package in Python. So the only difference from before is that we use the find all function, and we just use the same regular expression as we just saw before. So we store it in all digits, and now this all digits object is a list. Before it was a regular expression object, but now it's just a list with all the numbers in the text. We have 1, 33, 20, and so on. So a third example is, suppose we want to find all digits with millioner after. So this is Danish for millions. We can also do that with regular expressions. The way we do that is we use the find all function again, and then we type the regular expression as it is in here. So first we want to match all digits as before, and now we then want to also match to only match on the digits which has a space first after the digits, and then the millioner word after the space. So remember, in regular expressions, the space also has a meaning. So this space here means that we actually want to match on the space in the text that we want to find patterns in. So we store this list as millioner, and you can see the result here. A fourth example is that we are now interested in the quotes in the text. And if we go back to the text, just go back, you can see that here there is a quote that we are interested in. So we can see that the quote is structured as there is this sign in the beginning, and then it stops with a comma. So we need to match a pattern with this structure. So that is also what I've written here. So he needs to search for the text with the pattern first, this sign in the beginning, then the text, and then ended by this sign. And to do this, we remind ourselves of how to find alphanumeric characters. That means all the letters and also numbers. And we can do that with the regular expression sign here, which is \little w. So oppositely, the backslash large W, capital W, finds any non-alphanumeric characters. So that is all characters that are not letters or. And then we use the function find all again because we want all quotes in the text. And we write our regular expressions. We start by the first thing in the pattern. And then we noticed in the text that it followed by a space. And then the text of the quote came. So in brackets we write \little w, which means that we want to find the text. And we see here that in these brackets we also include a space, because we both want to find the text and the spaces in between the words of the quote. And the plus signs tells the find all function to search for not only one character, but all characters, the whole quote. And in the end, the quote ends with the comma, and then we have finished our regular expression. So we store this list as quote, and you see the result. So there's only one quote in the text, and this is the quote. So we have the first sign here, then the space that the regular expression matches on. Then we have the text, all the characters and the spaces that we want to match. Then in the end, we have our comma. All right. So a fifth example is that we want the information about the photo in the article. So we want the information about the photo that is inside the parentheses in the text that we have. And you can go back to the text to see where it is in the text. And here, remember that the parentheses are also special characters in regular expressions. So we had to escape them with the backslash here. And another thing we want to note here is that the dot sign matches any character except the new line character here. So we want to match any character except new lines that are inside the parentheses in the photo text. And the way we do that is we use the find all function, and then we write our regular expressions inside the quotes here. And first we want to match the first parenthesis, And we do that by escaping the parentheses because we want to match the exact parentheses, not use the special function of parentheses in regular expressions. Then we want to match any character inside this parenthesis. We do that by typing dot, which matches any character, and then plus to tell regular expression to match all characters, not just one, but all of them. Then we escape the last parenthesis again, and we have our regular expression. And the result you see down here. So we start with our parentheses, and then we get all the characters inside the parentheses, and we also get the special characters that are here in parentheses. And then in the end, we get the last parenthesis. So the last example is about splitting the text using a specific pattern. So the text consists of different sentences, and we want to break this text down to each sentence. And we can use the split function in the regular expression package to do that. So the split function can split a string at the occurrences of matches of a regular expression. So we match a pattern with a regular expression, and then the split function can split on this pattern. So first we need to find a pattern, and we see that each sentence ends with a dot, so we can actually split on that. So how do we do that? So we use the split function here, and we then tell the split function that it needs to split on this regular expression pattern. So here, remember that the dot is a special character in regular expression, so it matches any character in regular expressions except the new lines. So we need to escape it because now we just want to match on the dot, and this is just our regular expression then. And the result you see here. So now the split function has split every sentence into its own string, and it's stored here in a list. So the first sentence is the first part of the list, and then the second and third and fourth and so on. So that was it for regular expressions in this course. So we, as I told you, we have only scratched the surface. So now it's just about getting out and working with your own regular expressions and your own projects to become better at regular expressions. So have fun.